Spider's Double Trouble by Colton Dennis. Spider's Web. When a scientist experiments run loose. A team of military come in, but not all of them survive. Kelsey appears walking. A test tube appears, with chemicals inside it. My experiments will rule all mankind. Spiders appear scurrying inside. Tanks. A tank lid opens. Kelsey picks up a orb weaver. My first subject. The chemical in the test tube being poured onto the orb weaver. The orb weaver starts growing. Kelsey walks backwards. It's working. The orb weaver screeches. Yes, it worked, said Kelsey. The orb weaver shoots webbing at Kelsey's hand. The test tube falls into another tank. The spiders in the tank start growing. Kelsey runs out of the building. All the chemicals falling. More spiders start growing, then screech. A truck door shuts. Is this the team? Asked Norman. Yes, sir. The best rookies we have, said Jason. All right, now, what we're looking for is... I can't believe I'm saying this. Giant spiders. Now, I'm not a spider person, so, kill any arachnids you see. Let's roll, said Norman. The truck doors open then shut. The engine rumbles. The truck drives away. Footsteps are running. Kelsey stops then breathes heavily. A twig snaps. Kelsey turns around then looks around. Who's there? Asked Kelsey. Another twig snaps. Kelsey runs away. A tent appears. Spiders scurrying around. Both Allie and Roger appear kissing. Roger unzips his pants. Yeah. Fuck me, Roger, said Allie. Thumping sound in the distance. Both Allie and Roger hear the thumping sound. Stay here. I'll check it out, said Roger. The tent unzips. Roger walks outside. Hurry back. Roger walking. The ground slowly rises. Roger turns his head. The ground sinks back down. Roger steps backwards. Roger. Thumping behind Roger. Roger turns around. A giant tarantula appears then screeches. Roger turns back around. The giant spiders appear. The giant tarantula bites Roger. Roger, stop playing games, said Allie. Spiders continuously scurrying around. Allie moves towards the opening of the tent then moves the flap. A giant spider screeches then jumps at Allie. Allie screams. The truck driving then stops. The doors open then shut. Two teams. Me, Michael, Betsy, James and Chauncey will head east. Jason, Anna, Corbin and Paul head west. Be careful, they could be anywhere, said Norman. Footsteps are walking in different directions. Team 2 appears walking. A twig snaps. Jason holds up his fist. I see something. Stay here, said Jason slowly walking. Cobwebs appear. Jason walks through the cobwebs. Corbin looks. A giant orb weaver appears. Corbin chases the giant orb weaver. Corbin, said Anna following Corbin. Jason, Corbin just took off. Running, said Paul. Damn it. I'm on my way, said Jason. Footsteps are running. The giant orb weaver scurries past. Corbin raises his gun. The giant orb weaver scurries into the bushes. Damn. I could have gotten it, said Corbin. Footsteps approaching. Corbin, what's wrong with you? Asked Anna. I saw a spider. It got away from me, said Corbin. The ground behind Anna rises. Let's get out of here, said Anna being pulled into the hole. Corbin steps backwards. The ground sinks back down. Anna, said Corbin. Screeching behind Corbin. Giant jumping spiders appear. Corbin runs. The giant spiders jumping at Corbin. Corbin screams. Team 1 appears walking. Shh, I heard screaming. Let's head that way, said Norman. Footsteps are walking. Kelsey stops, then sees the tent. Hello. Kelsey walks towards the tent. The flap opens. Kelsey sees Ally's body. Oh God, said Kelsey. A giant orb weaver appears behind Kelsey. Guns firing. The giant orb weaver falls. Kelsey looks. Team 2 appears. Are you all right? Asked Jason. Yeah, thank you, said Kelsey. We still need to find Anna and Corbin, said Paul. Hopefully they're all right, said Jason. Corbin walks out of the bushes, then falls onto the ground. Corbin, said Paul. Jason feels no pulse. He's dead. We need to find the others, said Jason. Thumping sound in the distance. I hear something, said Paul. Thumping sound is getting closer. The giant tarantula appears, then screeches. Team 1 appears. Walking down, said Norman. All 5 see a building. When did they build that? Asked Michael. It's a scientist's house. Dr. Kelsey Graham. He's why these spiders are huge. But I think I have an idea. Me and James will look through the house. Michael, Betsy and Chauncey, stand guard. We'll be right out, said Norman. Team 1 walks towards the building. Both James and Norman walk inside the building. Cobwebs appear everywhere. Geez, there's a lot of cobwebs in here, said James. Just keep your eyes open, said Norman. Chauncey looks. I need to piss. I'll be back. Keep watch, said Chauncey, walking towards the bushes. Don't be long, said Michael. Chauncey gets to the bushes, unzips his pants, then starts urinating. A giant orb weaver appears behind Chauncey. Chauncey stops urinating, then behind himself. The giant orb weaver screeches. Chauncey screams. Both Betsy and Michael run towards the bushes. Chauncey being pulled up. Guns firing. Chauncey and the giant orb weaver fall onto the ground. Both James and Norman run outside. What happened? Asked Norman. Chauncey's dead, said Betsy. Footsteps are running. Sir, said Michael. All 3 approaching. You've made it, said Norman. We need to move quickly, said Jason. Why? Asked Betsy. Thumping sound getting closer. The group looks up. The giant tarantula appears. Move, said Norman. The group starts running. Michael climbs up a tree. Michael, said Paul. Keep moving. Michael pulls out a giant rifle. See you later, Spider, said Michael, firing the gun. The giant tarantula explodes. The group is cheering. A giant jumping spider attacks Michael. Michael, said Betsy. The giant spiders appear. Go, said Norman. The group starts running again. The giant spiders screeching. Norman stops, then sees a shack. Norman, said Jason. This way, said Norman. The group continues running. A giant spider jumps. A gun fires. The shack door shuts. What do we do? Asked Kelsey. Well, when me and James were in the building, I saw some gas tanks. They were full. I'll lead the spiders into the building. Light the gas, then goodbye spiders, said Norman. That's a great idea. But someone should go with you. To watch your back, said Jason. Any takers? Asked Norman. I'll go with you, said Paul. All right, you 4 get to the building. Are you ready? Asked Norman. The gun cocks. Let's do this, said Paul. The door opens. Both Norman and Paul are running. The giant spiders follow both Norman and Paul. Let's move, said Jason, all four running. The building appears. There it is, said James. A giant spider jumps at James. James screams. Gun fires. Are you all right? Asked Jason. Yeah, said James, being pushed into Jason. Webbing pulls James. Betsy raises her gun. The gun clicks. James groans, then sees the giant spider. Hang on, James, said Betsy. A magazine falls. James screams. Betsy looks up. The giant spiders appear. Jason groans, then sees the giant spiders. Inside, now, said Jason. All three run inside. The door shuts. The gas tanks, said Betsy. Jason grabs the gas tanks. Let's begin, said Jason. Gasoline being poured around the house. A hole appears in the corner of ceiling. A giant orb weaver appears. Footsteps are running. Keep running, Paul, said Norman. The giant spiders screeching. Paul cocks his gun. A giant spider appears in the tree, then jumps at Norman. The gun fires. The giant spider falls onto the ground. You're welcome, said Paul. Norman sees another giant spider. Behind you, said Norman. The giant jumping spider attacks Paul. Paul screams. Get out of here. Finish it, said Paul. Sorry, said Norman, running. Kelsey sits into a chair, then sighs. So, you're the one who did this. You should know that. After all this, I'm gonna kill you myself, said Jason. You could go to hell, said Kelsey. Jason pulls out a handgun. Betsy grabs Jason's arm. Don't, said Betsy. You're lucky, said Jason. The giant orb weaver appears behind Kelsey. Jason looks, sees the giant orb weaver, then raises the handgun again. No, said Kelsey. The handgun fires. The giant orb weaver falls onto the floor. Behind the chair, Kelsey looks at the giant orb weaver carcass. You are lucky, said Jason. Footsteps continue running. Norman sees the building, then bangs onto the door. The door opens, then shuts. Norman breathing heavily. "Are you all right?" asked Betsy. "Yeah." "Where's James?" asked Norman. "Dead." "Paul?" asked Jason. "Same. We better move fast. I'll open the door. You three, wait at the exit. Once you see me." Norman throws the lighter. "Which will light the gas?" "Go now. Yell when you're at the back," said Norman. All three are walking away. The back door opens. "All right, Norman," said Jason. "On three. 1, 2, 3, said Norman, opening the door. The giant spiders screeching. Norman continues running. The giant spiders chasing Norman. All three are waiting. Kelsey pulls out a knife, then raises it. The ground behind Kelsey slowly rises. Kelsey clears his throat. Both Betsy and Jason turn around. "I'm sorry, you can't kill my babies," said Kelsey. Betsy sees the giant trapdoor spider. "Then let them kill you," said Betsy, pointing. Kelsey turns around, then looks down. The giant trapdoor spider grabs Kelsey, then pulls him into the hole. The ground sinks back down. Norman appears. "Light it," said Norman. The lighter gets thrown. The gasoline catches on fire. The back door shuts. "The gas tanks are still inside," said Jason. All three are running towards the trees. The building explodes. All three are coughing. "Where's the doctor?" asked Norman. He felt a little down under," said Betsy. Both Betsy and Jason are laughing. "I hate spiders," said Norman. The ground rises. The giant trapdoor spider screeches. The end. Spiders in outer space. The 3 survivors of the spider invasion are back, but are aboard a space shuttle and they aren't alone. Footsteps are walking. The door opens then shuts. Ah, you're finally here. Betsy, Jason and Norman appear. I'm glad you came. Now, I've got another mission for you, said Thomas. What is that, General? Asked Jason. I want you 3 in a space shuttle. You'll help with guarding. Of course, I'll be there too. With my own team. You have until this afternoon to decide, said Thomas walking towards the door. General, why'd you choose us? Asked Norman. Because you've dealt with these things before, said Thomas walking out of the room. All 3 are looking at each other. Well, asked Jason. I think it'll be a good experience. If you guys want to. I say, and quat. Yes, and quat, said Norman. Me too, said Betsy. I'm gonna go pack, said Jason walking out of the room. I'll go talk to the general. Tell him the good news. Why don't you go pack, said Norman. Bridget breathing heavily. Oh. Yeah, so, you're on the mission? Asked Bridget. Yeah, I'm with my 2 friends. Norman Hides and Betsy Fields, said Jason. Bridget lays next to Jason. Norman walks towards Thomas. General, me and my team decided we would love to go, said Norman. Great. Meet us at the front building. I can't wait for the experience, said Thomas shaking Norman's hand. Norman walks away. Rondell approaches Thomas. The specimens are on board, General, said Rondell. Good. This time they won't escape them, said Thomas. Norman walks towards both Betsy and Jason. Is something wrong, Norman? Asked Betsy. I have a funny feeling. Once up there. Keep your eyes open, said Norman. Footsteps approaching. Mr. Hides, this is my team. Taj Knive. Rondell Williams, Whoopi Reeds, Key Lee and Stephanie and Bridget Nome. Team. These are the 3 finest soldiers. Show them respect, said Thomas. General, just so you know, if any of my team attacks us, I'll kill them myself, said Norman. Whatever you think is necessary. Let's get aboard. Team, said Thomas. Footsteps are walking aboard the space shuttle. The roof of the building opens. The space shuttle flying. A space station appears. The space shuttle lands. Keep your eyes open. At all times, said Norman. Everyone stay together. Mr. Hides, your team stays here until it's safe, said Thomas. Crates being carried. All 3 sit down. Footsteps are walking. Clear, said Rondell. Place it here, said Thomas. A crate being placed onto the floor. Norman sees a crate in the corner of the shuttle. Norman, what's wrong? Asked Jason. Shh. I think something's in there, said Norman. Where? Asked Betsy. That crate. Listen, said Norman getting closer. Careful, said Jason. The crate starts moving. Norman pulls out a knife then taps the crate. Screeching from inside the crate. Fangs break through the crate. Out of the room. Go, said Norman. The shuttle door opens. The crate breaks open. A giant orb weaver appears then screeches. All 3 are running. The giant orb weaver chases all 3 of them. Another crate being placed down onto the floor. A hole appears in the crate. Footsteps are walking. Another giant orb weaver appears, screeching in the distance. The group stops. Sir, over in the corner, said Rondell. The group looks up at the corner. Another Giant orb weaver appears in the corner of the ceiling, then screeches. Run, said Thomas. The group starts running. Whoopi runs in a different direction. The group continues running. Whoopi tries opening a door. The giant orb weaver looks at Whoopi, then screeches. Whoopi grabs a gun. The giant orb weaver jumps at Whoopi. Whoopi ducks, then tries crawling. The giant orb weaver pulls Whoopi. Whoopi screams. All three hear screaming in the distance. Where'd that come from? Asked Jason. Scurrying sound down the hallway. Hide, said Norman. A door shaking. Scurrying sound getting closer. A giant trapdoor spider appears, looks down the hallway, sees nothing, then scurries away. All three jump down from the ceiling. So, I guess this trip was a trap, said Jason. You aren't wrong. But that's what it is, said Norman. We should just leave, said Betsy. No, I want to find Bridget. She didn't know any of this, said Jason. How do you know? Asked Norman. Both Bridget and Stephanie were just starting, said Jason. All right, we'll find them. Then we'll leave, said Norman. What about the general? Asked Betsy. Leave him and the others. Let's find Bridget and Stephanie. All three start to walk, screeching from behind all three of them. All three turn around. The giant trapdoor spider appears again. Footsteps are running. Sir, the plan? Asked Rondell. Back to the shuttle, said Thomas. The group continues running towards the shuttle. The shuttle door opens. Pieces of the crate appear everywhere. The orb weaver got out, said Rondell. Start it up. We're leaving, said Thomas. What about the other three? Asked Bridget. We're leaving them. That was the plan, said Thomas. But they're people, said Stephanie. So, they killed my brother. Now, it's payback time, said Thomas. I'm staying, said Bridget. Me too, said Stephanie. Go ahead. You'll die too, said Thomas. Both Key and Taj stand next to both Bridget and Stephanie. The shuttle door opens. All four walk off of the shuttle. This isn't right, General. They're people, said Rondell. I'm not stopping you. If you stay, you die, said Thomas. Rondell opens the shuttle door. The shuttle door shuts. Footsteps are walking. Stay behind me, said Rondell. The group continues walking. Scurrying sound in the distance. All five kneeling on the floor. What is it? Asked Bridget. Shh, said Rondell, raising his gun. Scurrying sound getting closer. Jason walks around the corner. The gun fires. Jason falls to the floor, then gasps. Jason, said Norman. You shot him, said Bridget. Both Betsy and Norman raise their guns. Jason stops breathing. Tell me why I shouldn't shoot you, asked Norman. I thought it was a spider. I kept on hearing scurrying sounds, said Rondell. A giant orb weaver appears behind Rondell. Norman fires his gun. The giant orb weaver falls. You're welcome, said Norman. Betsy grabs Jason's gun. Norman sees Jason's dog tags, then takes them off him. Where's the general? Asked Betsy. He's in the shuttle, said Rondell. Then let's move, said Norman. It's probably not there, said Rondell. I know your general. He can't fly anything at all, said Norman. The group starts walking. A giant jumping spider attacks Key. Key screams, then gets dragged away. The group starts running. Cobwebs appear everywhere, screeching in both directions. What do we do? Asked Stephanie. Norman kicks a door. The door dents, banging on the Door. We need to go through. Stick together, said Norman. The group slowly walking through the cobwebs. Norman sees a picture, grabs it, then wipes it off. Norman. What's wrong? Asked Betsy. This place. It's a spider habitat. This entire space station, said Norman. Thumping sound in the distance. Norman moves some cobwebs. A cave appears. Giant spiders appear everywhere. A giant orb weaver looks up, sees the group, then screeches. The group runs back through the cobwebs. The giant spiders are chasing the group. Guns continuously firing. Taj goes to reload his gun. A giant jumping spider attacks Taj. Taj screams. Norman sees an open door. The group runs inside. The door shuts, banging on the door. What now? Asked Rondell. Betsy pulls out a flashlight. The flashlight shining, then stops on explosives. Norman, said Betsy. Explosives. They've tried blowing them up. The people never made it. My brother was here. It was his idea to do this, said Norman. How do you know he was here? Asked Rondell. Norman hands the picture. He's right there, said Norman. Betsy looks at the picture. The flashlight shines onto a body. Norman, said Betsy. Norman sees Michael's body. Michael, said Norman. We need a plan, said Rondell. Well, we could use the explosives. They're still good, said Betsy. Norman sits next to Michael's body. I want you all to get to the shuttle. I'll set the explosives, said Norman. You'll die, said Betsy. But I'll be with my brother, said Norman. Gunfire in the hallway. The door opens. Thomas appears. Let's get out of here, said Thomas. You five go. I'll finish this, said Norman. The door shuts. I'll stay with you, said Betsy. No, I'll finally be with my brother again. You all could live. Just go, said Norman. I want to tell you something. Norman, I love you, said Betsy. Same with me, said Norman. Let's move, said Thomas. Norman grabs an explosive. The group continues running. The giant orb weaver jumps at Stephanie. A gun fires. The giant orb weaver falls. Rondell grabs Stephanie's arm. We're almost there, said Thomas. Betsy stops, then looks back. A giant trapdoor spider appears, then screeches. Rondell pushes Betsy. The giant trapdoor spider attacks Rondell. Go, said Rondell, being ripped apart. Betsy laying on the floor. The giant trapdoor spider screeches, then scurries towards Betsy. A gun continuously fires. The giant trapdoor spider falls in front of Betsy. Norman appears. Let's move. We only have a few minutes, said Norman. The group continues running. The shuttle appears. There it is. A giant jumping spider appears. I've got an idea. When I say, run into the shuttle. Go, said Thomas. The group runs towards the shuttle. The giant jumping spider attacks Thomas. General, said Norman. Get out of here, said Thomas. More giant spiders appear. The shuttle door shuts. The shuttle unhooks from the space station, then flies away. The explosives are beeping. The space station explodes. The shuttle flying towards Earth. It's over, said Betsy. No, it's not. Betsy Fields. Will you? Said Norman. Screeching inside the shuttle. The group looks. A giant orb weaver appears, then jumps at the group. The group screaming. The end.